Should be live, and we are live. Whoops. Caught me by surprise. I think my makeup is not done yet, but we're live,
Same here.
Ibrahim.
All
Here
right,
we
we're
are.
back.
Another week has gone by. It seems like we're seeing each other every day, but 7 days has gone by, Ibrahim. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Just staying busy.
Staying busy. Busy,
Yourself?
busy is good. I was gone for 3 4 days to Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota.
Uh,
That was fun. But
yeah,
let
how was that? Tell us about it.
Well, before that, let's say hello to our viewers who are here and who are not here. Those who will be watching on the recording. Welcome, welcome to BioBridge, where we talk about connecting Japan and the U.S. and rest of the world in the biopharma, life science, medtech, diagnostic space. Anything else you
That's
want?
a that's a mouthful.
It is. It is. Well, I I'd like to try to keep it as wide as possible. You know, as long as it's in the life sciences. So anyways, I was saying this. I spent um Wednesday to Saturday in Rochester and Minneapolis, Minnesota. My first time in the state of Minnesota. It was fun. It was nice. You
And
ever
this
been?
was through bullpen or for bullpen, right?
Correct, correct. So Bopen,
Yeah.
this little, oh, it's not little anymore. It's a pretty big group of investors and startups that I'm in. I joined somewhere around, I would say, end of March, and I've met so many fun people. It's a great group. It's a great group. Everybody, their mantra is find someone to help, repeat. So you go
Nice.
in and people would ping me on LinkedIn and say, I have this project, perhaps could do something in Japan, or somebody would ping me and just say, hello, newcomer to Bullpen. I've been here for 2 years and I'd like to know how I can help you. That kind of stuff. So it's a
So there
really
are people interested in Japan in there.
there are indeed,
Yeah.
especially in today's environment, people are looking for alternative sources of funding, and so I jump in there and I talk about AMED. So for those who don't know, AMED is basically the NIH of Japan, a funding body. They've got big fund. That's 2.7 billion U.S. equivalent, and they have this program where they sort of double whatever a VC would invest. So if you get money from VC for let's say $10 million, AMED will give you $20 million on top of that. So that's a tremendous program. So whenever I talk about this on Bopan, right away I'll get some people pinging me on LinkedIn saying, "Yo, I just got my SBIR cut. I need to find different source of funding. Maybe just maybe this thing in Japan could work." And I tell them about what we're doing and make a new friend. You know, and also I'm trying to talk to as many startups as possible and sort of build like a portfolio of companies that I could help. And who knows? Well, I'm going to go to Japan next month. Maybe I'll go to Japan. Maybe I'll meet some guys at ASI where I worked before. We're looking at this type of modality, or we're trying to find something for this indication or that indication. And so, anywho, that's that's sort of what I'm trying to do for my company. And
Very
this
nice.
Yeah, and this time at Mayo, it was it's more AI, digital health tech. Some there's some biopharma, small molecules, biologics, but it was mainly an event to get people from the Mayo ecosystem. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool ecosystem. I mean, they don't call it the number one hospital system in the world for nothing. Like on my way
Yeah.
out, I told my mom I'm going to Rochester, Minnesota. So okay, be careful. Let's get that. And then I left, and then I get a message. Are you going to Mayo Clinic? I had no idea she knew.
She knew. Yeah.
But she was very proud. Going to Mayo Clinic. It's my first time. It's anyways, that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
How was your week? Tell me about your week. You've been busy. You said?
We're just preparing for, as I was mentioning, sending off our daughter to college. Yeah. That's personal busy, but all that. Well, it is times. Yeah.
Nostalgia already settling. My oldest is 13.
You'll be talking to me at that time. How to let go.
Well, the oldest is a boy, so I guess it's a little less. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. I just think about if my daughter goes off, I'm gonna be like, oh. People are gonna say there's favoritism. Them all, but differently, I guess. I don't know.
All right.
So
yeah. I guess what do we want to talk about today? I guess what do we have in store?
I was gonna say today we can talk, sort of move back a little bit. Over the past 4 weeks, we've talked about. Well, we had one session for sort of this intro, our individual backgrounds. We had a session about problems going on in Japan, why we exist and we want to connect Japan to the world. And also I talked about that AMED program, right? I think that was episode 2. Episode 3, we had special guests on from Crosscare. So this is a company that is a quick way to access Japan through a company like Crosscare, where it's a platform full of independent consultants. So we had them on and talking about how they want to help Japanese companies access the global market, and also global companies access Japanese market. So they're right on the same wavelength as we are. And last week was the 4th session where what did we talk about last week? We talked about just general, I think, etiquette business.
Or like people coming into the U.S. from Japan or North America, and
So today I thought we can dig a little deeper into why anybody from North America or anywhere outside of Japan should consider Japan. I mean, if you have no point of reference, if Japan is basically another country for you. Why should you care about Japan? And there's this acronym that I made up, and that's J Prime. I came up with this earlier this year, around January. I was in Washington D.C. in like this task force meeting with my ex-colleagues from ASI and some other consultants, and also PMDA, AMED, and manufacturers. So we're a group in there talking about Japan. This is a group of Japanese people. So talking about how can we help, I guess, reboot the Japanese ecosystem and make it more, make it back into the leader that it once was. And so around the end, we said we gotta have like this acronym or some sort of a thing, slogan that we can remember. And so I asked ChatGPT, put in some of the parameters, and ChatGPT gave me J Prime, and I thought this was beautiful. Everybody liked it. Whenever we go out and do presentations and whatnot, just plug that in there so people can remember. So J Prime individually, I think we can talk about each item. Each item is like a characteristic for Japan. So let's start with J. J is obviously for Japan, and Japan is a huge and very high value healthcare market still today. I think it's still the 3rd market in the world. So it should be on any company's radar, I think. So thoughts on that? I mean, U.S. being number one, China being number two, and then there's Japan. But some people I talk to, they're still like, oh yeah, there is Japan. It's like, I mean, it just seems like 10, 20 years ago, it's like an automatic response to add Japan into your development plan. But today it's not. It feels like it's like a surprise to many people when I tell them, have you thought of Japan? What do you think? Ibrahim?
Oh, so sorry. I think I'm having connection issues.
Really?
Yeah, no. Yeah. No, but it's a very big market. Obviously, if we're talking pharma, it's like you said, it's the third largest market, and China just beat that market. But you also have to think, the market size is there, but there's also, because of the universal healthcare system and whatnot, there's access. So that's
Correct.
the amazing part that I think is that, this is government supported access to all four corners of the country. And it's not restricted to like one particular city, for example, where all the university hospitals are or whatnot, but it's all over the country. So I think that's what makes it pretty amazing in terms of access as well. So
Indeed.
not just the market size, but you get to access that many people in different kind of settings.
Yeah. And when you say market size, right, it's not just the population. It is an aging population. So from that perspective, for the pharma, as a pharma healthcare market, that's it's bigger than just the population size, right?
Yep.
So it is
Definitely.
a huge market.
So there's that, and then yeah, and then you add the drug lag and the drug loss, drug less issue.
Mhm.
So that means there's room for growth.
Indeed, indeed, and there's lots of support and attention from the government. In fact, today I just saw a post on LinkedIn from Bill Gates saying, "Hey, I'm in Tokyo, everybody," kind of thing, and he was like, "I'm talking to cabinet members and companies in Japan," and so he's there trying to see how he can, as the Gates Foundation, support bringing Japan also to the forefront of healthcare to where it was before. So that's huge. That's great. Like he's there for the week, he said. So unfortunately, I'm not
Yeah,
there.
pretty amazing.
Okay.
I know. I wish I were there too.
Hey,
Good point.
Bill, how you doing? All right, listen. Let's go to P. So J prime. The next one is P, and that stands for Premier Science and Innovation. Okay, I mean, look, do I need to convince anybody that Japan is right up there in tech, in anything that has to do with quality, and anything that has to do with, cutting edge? Japan is right up there. Maybe we don't need to dwell too long on this one, because is there
Yeah.
anything you'd like to mention?
I mean, I just keep on thinking of the bento box that heats itself in the bullet train, the Shinkansen. I don't know why that just keeps on popping up in my head.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the reputation is Japanese science is top notch. Like there's from the very early discovery stuff on the academic science all the way to actual drug development. It's the people are very serious about the science and about the technology. So uh, yeah, I don't know how much more I can say about this. The only thing is maybe
Yeah.
the science and technology part is really strong, but connecting that to uh, marketable products or drugs, or there's this little gap, this chasm, I guess, that's hard to solve, and that's something the government is looking into. But once again, the very early the science part of it is very, very strong in Japan.
Like you said, I don't think we need much convincing on that one.
There you go. Next one, people sort of know intuitively, but may not take it as seriously as I think we should. And that is the R of J prime, reliability and integrity of the Japanese people. When you say reliability, obviously, Japanese people, they are very diligent, very honest. They do what they say. They're always on time. That's the reliability part. Integrity, the crime rate's very low. People don't steal. People don't lie. You lose your wallet in the street, you're going to find it with the money in it. That's just the reputation of the Japanese people. And it does translate into business costs or the lack thereof, right? When you can count on people doing what you agreed to more often than not, or other let's say countries, that's something that factors into your business costs.
Yep, definitely agree with that. Yeah, and then I guess we do need to some people who've done business with Japanese people might kind of maybe be confused a little bit about that part because
okay,
like there's some non-commitment, right?
Good call.
But that's a communication. It's more a communication and a high context communication thing.
Indeed.
It's not like they promised yet. That's the thing. So yeah, you do have to distinguish between once actually a promise or a contract is made compared to the previous steps before that.
That's a great call. That's a great call. Sometimes Japanese people what they say can be interpreted as a yes by the receiver, but it actually is not a yes. And they oftentimes do not. Yeah, and they often do not say no bluntly. So, but as you say, that is indeed a communication problem and not a bad intent. Like outright lying about something. So, good call. Good call. So, next item, we can go to I. The I of J prime is infrastructure. I think we talked about the science, innovation, but also the infrastructure for doing the science, or also the clinical drug development infrastructure. I think is top notch. Look, operationally, logistics and all that in Japan is just super advanced. You can order something on Amazon and it'll be at your door 2 hours later. Some of this stuff is just insane. So the infrastructure for drug development also, the sites are all relatively close because it's a very densely populated country. But the logistics, everything is, the drug delivery, not into the people, but drug delivery, the clinical trial material from the depot to the sites and all this kind of operational stuff that often can take days elsewhere in the world could take hours in Japan. Refrigeration and all those different requirements for clinical trial material, all of that is really advanced. Electronic systems also. So I don't know. The only thing is, despite all the advances, despite all the efficiencies, the I guess the only caveat is you need to know Japanese. You need to be able to communicate in Japanese with the sites or the manufacturing plant, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, the all the operation is smooth if you know your way around, if you know Japanese well, if you can communicate in Japanese. That's a big caveat.
Yeah.
But it's part of the efficiency.
And that's where cross-care and all the community that we're trying to build is hopefully going to fit in as well.
Indeed. Indeed. There are more and more, I would say, Japanese, especially the younger generation, who have studied abroad and come back and are working in Japan now. There's more of them now, but it's still not like the majority. Most people don't speak English very well, so that's
I think it was
unfortunate.
like 10%. 10%
Oh
is the
yeah.
number I've seen thrown around for bilinguality
Oh really?
in Japan. Yeah.
Okay. Well, 10% is not
Yeah.
bad when you think
I
about it.
mean,
10% of the general population,
but
or it's
then you have to
the
compare it
levels.
to other developed countries, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Because if it's 1 out of 10 who can speak, who are bilingual, like fluently bilingual,
Oh
it's
yeah, no, actually I
that
don't know. I don't even
yeah,
know what the standard was for that 10%, if it's
yeah,
fluency or not. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And some people are very good at passing the TOEIC test, 800s,
Yes.
900s, and they can't speak for the life of them.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, I think definitely writing is much better than
indeed,
comprehension. Yeah.
indeed, reading, writing, very strong, perhaps stronger than many other countries with English as a second language. But
Yes.
spoken and the hearing, the listening skills, and the speaking skills,
Hmm.
it's tough. It's tough.
And that goes back that's why raising multilinguals, right? Isn't that part of your theme of your
Yeah,
uh back then it has to start at a certain period for you to
yeah,
actually comprehend certain sounds and be able to pronounce them.
yeah. Well, I mean, you're opening a different can of worms here, but definitely, I think I mean, there's two sides to this discussion, but I personally, in my mind, I think it's better if children could learn languages, while they're very young, very naturally. It's not just the physiological or capability thing, but also a psychological thing. Where before they know, they have a sense of shame or embarrassment. They're out there just speaking, whatever they need to speak. So I raise my kids in the 5 languages that I speak, and they're doing well. And then of course
Wow.
not at age standardized level for all 5 languages, but good enough for them to just go out there, be a base for if they want to live in Japan or live in Taiwan. I mean, their Japanese is really strong, pretty much native level, but their Spanish is probably not half as strong, but they're still doing it. They're still playing with the au pair and using Spanish 24/7 when the au pair's there. So
Pretty amazing.
yeah. So let's bring it back to pharma.
I think we're at a M
Yeah,
of J
we're at
prime.
M. Okay, so M is market stability and access. I did mention a little bit about safety, also low crime in Japan. Tokyo and Osaka have direct flights to many big cities around the world. Very efficient transportation system, so the market is easy to access. The English is written pretty much everywhere in the big cities. You can get by with English if not just reading and speaking to people. And yeah, low crime. You lose your wallet, chances are you will find it intact, and access. So it's a great market from that perspective, just from business perspective, not just in bio or any type of business. It's a very developed system to go in, easy to access. One
Yeah,
last
and
thing.
then I guess stability, right? Stability, it's not like the currency's changing every 10 years or
Indeed.
crashing. It's yeah, stable economy, no revolutions, those kind of things either.
Hmm. That's right. All right, last one. E. E for economic advantage. This is a timing thing, I would say. Economic advantage One is from the yen. The yen has well, it has not fluctuated that much, but it has dropped once around 2020 or so. Um,
Yeah.
so the yen was almost at parity with the US dollar. It was like 105 yen for $1. Now it's like 150 yen for $1. So that this dip in value of the yen is a tremendous opportunity for anybody coming into Japan. It's hard for Japanese to go out and travel and do business outside because the yen is so weak. But it's great time to go into Japan. And I've had how many friends have contacted me over the past few years. I'm going to Hokkaido to ski, or I'm going to to Hiroshima to visit this or that, and then they're asking me for all the advices. And then so now what I do is I just copy the all the advice I gave to one of my first friends. It's copy paste, because I
Nah.
did quite a lot of stuff the first time. So people are going to Japan. It's record level of tourism, and I'm hearing that investors are jumping in. Many companies are doing licensing deals with Japanese companies because every dollar you spend in Japan goes 50 miles further. That's just economic sense, right? It makes perfect sense. If all things equal, choose Japan, right? So
Yeah.
that's one economic advantage. It's the financial economic vantage point. The other is something I mentioned a little bit earlier, and also on our on our episode 2, and that is AMED and the funding. There's tremendous government funding right now into startups, and I just learned about another program that came up yesterday, that I saw on my feed, and that's also AMED, but a different program. Like the earlier program I mentioned is called the what was it called? The
I think
strengthening
it's like
program.
innovation.
No. The other one, the one I always talk about, is called the strengthening program for
Oh,
pharmaceutical startup ecosystem. So this is therapeutics. This is pharma startups, but there's other programs, and this other one that I just heard of recently is a new program really aiming at very early stuff. So trying to bring university technologies and support professors or scientists to bring this to sort of prepare it for the market, prepare it to go into startups. So this very early part, they're supporting that. I forget what the program's called. I shared it on LinkedIn, I think so.
yeah.
So
I think I reposted it on the bullet train as well. So
yeah.
yeah.
This is it's great. It's great that the government's putting so much emphasis, internally into the companies, to try to really find a way to make it work. They're also working with VCs in Japan. So there's an accelerator program. Is this the one that I just talked about? But anyways, they're working with VCs. Yes. This is not AMED. This is actually the MHLW, Ministry of Health and Labor, and
Okay.
what's the W? I forget the W. But they're working with VCs to sort of mentor these very early technologies to bring that into the market. So every day there's something popping up, and I'm gonna go to Japan next month, and I'll be going to Bio Japan, which is coming up in October 8 to 10. If anybody listening is going to Bio Japan, or have any questions, do let me know. It's basically bio, but in a little bit smaller scale than bio. But it's the biggest one in Asia, if I'm not mistaken, and much cheaper though. The one in Boston costs how much? $3,750 for that platform. You access the platform and do these 30-minute meetings. The one
The
in
meetings. Yeah.
Japan, the one in Japan is like $600 for the same platform.
Nice.
So I'm looking at that. Oh, we have a question from Charles. Yeah, speaking of AMED. So let's put this on. Charles asks, how many VCs are registered with AMED? And the answer is 30. So there's 30 VCs as we speak. The last 2 came in March. So that's Blackstone and EQT. These are completely foreign companies without significant Japanese operations. There's also there's like F Prime and many Japanese VCs also in there. But bottom line is it's 30, and the next round is, when's the next round? Next announcement? There's 2 rounds of selections. One in May or so. The other is in November. So the ones in May should be announcing maybe like in September or October, and then November with the next round of applications for announcement in like March. So
nice.
34 companies are funded by AMED for this program, this strengthening program for pharmaceutical startup ecosystem. And I heard that the biggest funding was $40 million approximately from AMED. So that means 20 million from the VC. I think that's going into like phase 1 and 2. Pretty big. And also this last round of approvals for the startups, there's one company that's actually a foreign company that set up shop in Japan, that set up an affiliate in Japan, and that affiliate got the funding. So that's kind of a model that I'm trying to promote, to find companies from the US and get them to set up shop in Japan and get this funding. All right. And
Charles is also asking if there's a culture of family offices are similar in Japan.
So is there a culture of family office or similar in Japan? I don't know. I think that's I'm new to this world of VCs and startups. So and even the term family office I did not know that before quite recently. So is there in Japan? If I had to guess, I would say no.
Yeah, I would say no as well. Yeah, I mean VC is generally very small. Culture of VCs
exactly.
even in Japan.
That's precisely the point.
Yeah.
Even just VCs, there's the scale we're talking, maybe 1 order of magnitude lower than the US. So this appetite for risk is just not built into the culture. So even if you're a wealthy family, will you want to go into like this type of investment, family offices? It feels like it's not something they would like, but I can maybe check that out.
And then we have another question. What is the AI healthcare like in Japan?
AI healthcare. I'm no expert, but I do notice that there's quite a lot of stuff coming out of Japan now. I've had a few friends making these AI devices. One of the companies that I know, I think he's running clinical studies in Australia, like everybody else. But his device is a device that allows you to what is it? I think it's a device that allows you to predict if you're going to have a seizure soon, within like 15 minutes or 20 minutes. So that's something that's that could save your life if you have a seizure and fall and hit your head on the corner of the table. If you know that you have a high chance of falling in the next 15 minutes, and you just sit down, right? So that there's many devices that are diagnostics, so that it diagnoses and says, wow, you just had a seizure, you just had a heart attack, but his device is actually predictive. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And he's also looking at coming over to the US. And so the AI healthcare in and of itself it's big. That's why, I just spent what, 4 days at Mayo Clinic and listening to some of these companies pitch. It's not my lane, but I kind of want to make it my lane now. I used to have all these requests, diagnostics and devices and whatnot. I usually just send them to my friends or collaborators in Japan. But now I'm thinking maybe I should learn it up myself and learn, what is it, 510K, and what is a CE mark, these things. These things, I sort of hear them thrown around. I kind of know it's like an approval process, like the NDA and ANDA and whatnot. But I don't know it specifically, and I should. So.
But I do wonder though. My impression is like a lot of the AI stuff that's going on in Japan is more for the domestic market rather than
I don't know.
global. I don't know. Yeah.
Possibly, but look, everybody's talking about globalization. Everybody wants to, and I feel that it's only recently that companies have the support to really do it. VCs, there's more and more VCs. I guess less and less risk averse. More and more learning from the U.S. Counterparts. I think overall, Japan wants to get back to where it was before, leader, in whatever domain. Japan in the 80s, 90s was just dominating the world of and life sciences, pharma, engineering, everything. Japan was associated with this quality. So over the past 2-3 decades, it's been deteriorating quite a lot. And finally, I feel in the past few years, there's finally a good push to try to make changes for real. It's not just politicians talking for the sake of talking, getting votes. They're actually doing something about it. So, and that's good. That's great. And then people like you and I, we want to be in there, in the action, and trying to see if there's things that we can help with, because we've got something that's necessary for this collaboration to work. We know both cultures, so we know the languages, we know the science, the operations, all that. Is something we can go in and help. So that's why that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yep.
Right.
All right. Do you wanna close it soon?
So I guess we should. So
we're trying to shorten it every week, but we fail at it.
We fail at it. Wow. Look, it's
not a bad failure to worry about. Actually,
it's too much fun talking to you.
Yeah.
And it's every week we sit down, we just sort of do a little catch up and talk and see if there's people who want to chime in. And today, again, we've got a few people watching and chiming in.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And hopefully, I do put that in the description. If you want to come on camera and say a few words, you are welcome. We would definitely let you come on. Or if you want to contact us beforehand and prepare, that's also fine, because I can send you a link right now for you to come on. And we got another comment here from a LinkedIn user. Fortunately, I can't see who. So thanks, AI healthcare is the next lane. Yes, AI tools make healthcare efficient for HCPs and patients and other stakeholders. You are absolutely right.
Yeah, actually that's true, because that reminds me, I did talk to Robert Clark. He's in Japan.
Oh, really? When
in the ecosystem. Yeah, so he was mentioning how, obviously EMR, electronic health records, are in Japan, everywhere in Japan, but there's the same issue that they have in the US with portability. So basically they don't talk to each other. So there's all this health data that could still be used, that's not being utilized in a global level. So, AI healthcare or something, AI tool would be really, really good in that kind of ecosystem as well. So there are applications.
It's, I mean, if we just talk about AI, we will have three to 5 hours worth of things to talk about. But suffice to say, it's really changing at blazing speed right now, and there's so much of it going on. Like every time it comes up, you're like, all right, another AI thing, right? But then if you hear a talk and the person doesn't talk about AI, then you're like, what? You got no AI in that? How are you going to compete?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
sort of a conundrum, but it's both on the tech side and like the pharma side. Some of these stuff that they're using AI for. I mean, very simply, you can design molecules that actually don't exist in nature, right? That's that's obviously something that they're doing for, and there's like I think clinical studies running already for that. You can design. There's this company I know from France. Their thing is really cool. They use endogenous retroviruses, human endogenous retroviruses, and apparently they're called cold tumors that don't get detected with any immune therapies and vaccines and whatnot. They're able to find these tumors, let's say triple negative breast cancer (TNBC), by getting them to find epitopes using viral vectors, and they use AI to design the best sequence that fits. And these viruses have so much heterogeneity that what the company does is use AI to design the optimal sequence, but also they put in like 21 sequences in one viral vector, so you can cover so much heterogeneity and just do one priming dose, express the virus in there, and you're gonna find the 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 tumors, right? The cancer cells. Now, theoretically, this sounds great. It sounds amazing. This is something that they couldn't do before AI. So they need this AI to design based on the human endoretrovirus, the sequence, right? So that's really cool. They've done some mouse studies. It's worked well, and they're going into the clinic this coming fall or early next year.
Pretty
Once you
cool.
see it in the clinic, I feel it's gonna explode. But at this stage, I'm a little surprised because the science for me sounds amazing. Yeah, they have this competitor analysis on their slides. I'm looking at it. Not many people can do it. That's one thing, and they're quite advanced. They're going into human just in a few months. But I talked to VCs and they're like, yeah, well, original. That's cool, but it's a little early. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. I thought this
Wow.
was like the sweet spot for VCs, but so I'm trying to get that feel for what's the appetite for these guys versus like a pharma BD guys. Well, what are they looking at, and what impresses them? Because sometimes I feel like another ADC, another bispecific, but they're jumping on them, going, okay, so you like the boring stuff, no, but not that
Uh,
yeah. I'm
there's a
thinking,
little bit. I mean, there's a little bit of risk averseness
yeah,
overall right now,
yes,
right?
of course.
Yeah. So, the later stage, the better, the more
Mhm.
known technologies are better. That's the
Yeah,
general impression I have for,
yeah,
as an outsider. So,
yeah. But I just always feel like it's what you pay versus the
y-
price. I mean the price versus the value, right? Warren Buffett said it. Price is what you pay, and value is what you get. So if
yeah.
you are able to see the value from a different light, then perhaps you can get away with paying a lower price. Um, and that's I guess where your your brain power comes in.
Right. Yeah.
All right,
All right. So
and you said
Charles Legg also made a last comment. Maybe you could just post it, and
All right.
it's very true.
Who
So
says
if
that?
anyone from Sony, Nintendo, or Tokyo Electron ever comes across us, it's like, or watching this, they need to pay attention. It's an idea out
Indeed.
there.
Indeed. Again, very funny. Very funny thing. I just like literally just a few minutes before this live stream, I wrote a little message to a new acquaintance at Sony through a bullpen friend who said, "Yeah, you should meet this person from Sony since you're going to Japan next month." Oh, yeah, sure. I'll make a new friend because I have another company that I'm talking to. They're doing hearing restoration, and that is a huge market.
Yeah.
And they're doing something that it is therapeutics, but there's something with their device, and I just thought, yeah, so
Oh, very nice.
there's possibly some connection to make there. But Apple, Google, Nvidia, why not? Why not? Everybody should jump into healthcare, and then we'll have more work.
Yeah. True.
All
All right.
right.
So do we know what we're talking about next time?
So I'm thinking, business development is something I'm very interested in, that I'm trying to work out like a model for myself. And I thought, why don't I bring in some of my BD friends on here, and BD friends who've got experience in both Japan and the US, so we can kind of talk about the differences, how we approach a company in the US versus how we approach a company in Japan. I think that could be a fun topic, but I haven't decided who. Let's see who's got the time to spare and come on here to discuss. And if you're a BD person, or if you have experience in BD, you don't have to be like working in the BD department, and you'd like to come on, well, give us a shout, and let's come on and we can discuss. It's a very friendly environment, informal. As you see, we're kind of doing this on the fly, and just discussing. Nothing formal, nothing prescriptive. Alrighty. All right. Well, nice catching up with you, Ibrahim.
Yeah, likewise. No, thank you. J Prime.
Our therapeutic moment, our weekly therapeutic moment.
Weekly therapy. Yeah. Well, J Prime. All right. So yeah, Japan is a good market.
J Prime all the way. All right. I'll talk to you next week then.
Sounds good. Okay.
See you.
Thanks.
Bye,
Take
everybody.
care. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thanks.